Good morning, everybody, and today we would like to welcome you to the NOJHL Showcase Day 2, starting off with our first game here between the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners and the Elliot Lake Vikings. I'm Harrison Clements. With me on color is Ben Long, and we have the draw going in favor of Kirkland Lake. Puck gets dropped down in the zone by a Bresh and taken back by the Vikings. We will have a whistle here.
Yeah, it looks like there was a tripping call in there. I missed the ref putting his arm up all for that one. I had no idea why that whistle was going off. So
Liam Bridgman in the box.
Yeah, it was trip going in the board there, and I did see the guy go down. I just wasn't sure if, I didn't see the arm go up. So good to see the refs on their feet more than I am so far this morning.
Bastien Picard with the draw in the offensive zone. Kirkland Lake wins it, straight to the point. One-time shot, doesn't get all of it, and goes into the corner. Managed to clear. And Aiden Bevan will be bringing it up the ice. Drops it back to Dupuis. Gets taken down at the blue line. The Vikings recover. And clear the zone. Bevan with it once again. Pushes up the ice. But gets taken away at the blue line by Abaflan. Elliot Lake, doing a good job of keeping the puck away, mitigating any chances here. And they go on the counterattack. 74, Abaflan into the zone again, fires a shot up. And unable to finish on that one. Good defensive play by the goalie. Shot on net once again by Kirkland Lake on the power play here, and unable to get anything done there as the play is called dead as the puck goes out.
Yeah, it looks like so far that the Elliot Lake Vikings have had more offensive opportunities on this shorthanded than the Gold Miners have had on the man advantage.
And unfortunately that seemed to be carrying over from yesterday against their game with the Sioux Eagles. Puck gets cleared down.
Penalty killing, it's always nice to have an offensive zone face-off, and they don't come very often. So having this one here is good. They're probably going to try and make another advantage of it and see if they can get another good chance on goal.
35 seconds left. Draw in the Kirkland Lake zone, and they will win it, firing it back behind the net, and hopefully getting a good push out of this. And they will push up. Gray with the puck, with speed, drops it back to the defender, and fires it on net. That one is controlled handily by the Elliot Lake Viking goaltender.
Yeah, the lakes and the Miners are the different color than we saw them yesterday, and it's
Ellis with the puck, chops at it, will receive it back at the point, fires it down into the corner. Kirkland Lake tries to cycle it here, but lose control as Elliot Lake manages to clear it back into the KL zone. Centering pass, but no Elliot Lake Vikings there to receive it. Kirkland Lake back on the counter offensive with Myrie into the corner. Elliot Lake manages to recover, goes for a long stretch pass, bounces off a Kirkland Lake gold miner, and it stays in the Kirkland Lake corner. Trying to clear, but being harassed by many Vikings in the neutral zone. Allen will chop it up to the blue line. Genovese tries to control it, and the puck is just bouncing around the neutral zone for the most part. Trapped at the red line now along the boards as both teams fighting for it. And finally, the puck ends up going into the Viking zone, and just as quickly is cleared. Fighting in the corner for Kirkland Lake is Bevan. And one more time, Vikings control it in their zone. 16:37 remaining on the clock. Shots 2-1 in favor of the Vikings. Vikings now with good-looking push up the boards and enter the zone. Cleared out to the neutral ice one more time. And taken at the blue line by the Gold Miners. In the corner with it is number 23, Noah Woodard. Fires it on net, and it is gobbled up quickly by the goalie.
Yeah, this game's been off to a bit of a slow start with the penalty there early on, but I think we're about to see some pickup. We're about to see a bit more physicality take play, I bet, too. Well, getting early calls like that really take physicality out of the game, as the players don't want to be the next guy going into the box.
Absolutely. Puck gets won by Kirkland Lake and down all the way into their own zone. Will be played behind the net by their goaltender, Davis. Kirkland Lake trying to break out now. They manage to. 13 deferred with a shot on net. Goes wide. Back to the blue line. Flicked in front of the net. Scramble for it, and the Vikings maintain control and are able to clear the zone with it. Pushing through the neutral zone now. It will dump it into the corner. Fighting along the boards now are many Vikings and Miners. And the Gold Miners will come away with it. Schuker dumps it into the corner, and that will be called for icing.
That may have been the best shift that we've seen out of the Gold Miners so far, including when they were on the power play. That was a nice, neat little move by Dufour to skip by the defender and get a good chance on net. Unfortunately for him, the goaltender at the other end was just right there ready to make the save.
Draw won by the Vikings in the Gold Miners zone. Big rebound, another chop at it, and the Vikings get a chance, but it goes over the net behind into the corner. Vikings come away with it to the top of the slot. Shot, rebound into the corner. Jacob Schuker goes after it. Another shot on net by the Vikings. Behind the net and into the corners. Vikings, Miners falling in the corners, fighting for it. Vikings get up to their blue line. Hopefully getting set up here for an effective play, but the Gold Miners manage to clear their zone and get a change off after a long fight in their zone. Brousseau gets it at the line, dumps it in. 25, Benjamin Armitage with the puck back to the blue line to Brousseau. Brousseau fires one on net, deflects off a defender and just goes wide into the corner. Vikings recovered and managed to bounce it up the boards and cleared deep into the Kirkland Lake zone. Shot up the boards by Brousseau. Kirkland Lake fighting for it. Coming in is Ellis. Weaving through defenders, takes it behind the net. Into the corner now, still maintaining puck control. Dumps it back for his teammate. Goes behind the net. Passes it up to the blue line to Brousseau. Brousseau back in. For Dupuis. Dupuis skating through, centering pass. Quick shot on net, rebound. Kirkland Lake thinks they scored a goal, but it is waved off and dumped back into the KL zone. Dupont here for the Vikings. Throws it in front of the net, but is intercepted. Nystrom at the blue line for the Vikings. Passes it over into the corner for Marincola. Nystrom with it again, dumps it back. Vikings will go for a change as Kirkland Lake pushes out. Ellis with the puck with speed, was stripped of it at the blue line. Going back the other way, McClanahan tries to pass it to his teammate, gets deflected and goes into the corner. Fight along the near side boards. Both teams vying for control, vying for any sort of foothold here in this game. Shots 4-6 in favor of the visiting Kirkland Lake Gold Miners. controlled at the blue line and fought for. Kirkland Lake comes away with it, though. Going along the boards is Bastien Picard, fighting for it. Lots of neutralized time for both teams here. And a mini 2-on-1 for the Vikings, but quickly taken back by the Gold Miners. Allen tosses it up to Woodard. Woodard into the corner. Shot on net, and that will be controlled by the Vikings goalie.
That was a long string of play that you had there.
It seems to be whenever Kirkland Lake's on the ice.
Yeah. Now, there's a few plays that happened that I want to make comments on. The first thing I want to comment on is yesterday we saw Braden Garnhart be the player of the game for the Gold Miners. Today we have Connor Davis in net, and he's been incredibly stable back there. His rebound control hasn't been particularly stellar, but his movements are incredibly efficient.
Rebounds seem to be trouble for both of the goalies so far, as there's been some awkward bounces right off the hop. And the play will get called for icing, as I believe that was Bruce Gray who dumped it in a little bit past the red line, and the draw will be in the Kirkland Lake zone.
The other play that I wanted to comment on, since we had not much in between there, was the no-goal call that Gold Miners started celebrating from our angle. It looked like, well, I guess they scored a goal, and then the ref says no goal, and the play continued on.
It definitely looked like it was in from a certain angle, but refs much closer to the net were able to see that one. Kirkland Lake now pushing through their neutral ice. Woodard gets, McKindu, gets taken down at the neutral zone, and the Vikings will be able to dump it back into Kirkland Lake's area. Chipped up the ice. A race for the puck, race for icing. And 17, Myuri will beat the icing there, fighting along the boards, but the Vikings quickly recover. The Vikings now pushing up. Bounce pass out of the boards, but is quickly taken away by the Gold Miners. Myuri tips it into the Viking zone, actually misses it, and it will be called for icing.
That last non-icing call was an interesting one, as they waved it off, but the Viking was still the first player to the puck.
That was a very close one there. Maybe it was because they were so close and it was slower that they decided to let them fight for it.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it was I wouldn't have expected to see that.
Kirkland Lake wins the draw in their zone. It's bounced out. Controlled by a Vikings player in neutral ice. Dumped in, and that will be Schuker sending it around the boards. And then a nice pass up the ice to a Gold Miner. Genovese will dump it into the corner. And Dufour will try and play it behind the net, but the Vikings come away with it. Race down the ice for icing, and the Gold Miner will beat it back into their own zone. And we will have a draw in the Elliot Lakes Vikings end.
As the teams line up, let's talk about the goaltender at the other end. You have Cameron Beauville in net there. We haven't seen him yet this year on our broadcast yet, but he's looked pretty steady back there for them so far.
And we will have another icing as the puck was cleared out of the Viking zone, and the puck will be drawn once more in Elliot Lake zone.
And I had the numbers right here for the goaltenders, but I've lost it, so we will come back to that at the next face-off.
Draw one by the Vikings. Pass behind their net. They will try and break out here. 17. Dubois will chip it in. It is taken quickly back by the Gold Miners. Genovese will send it up to center ice, but it is sent quickly back in by Jake Norman. 14 for the Gold Miners. Try and clear it. Can't get it done. And it was taken into the bench is a Viking, but the Vikings will maintain control in their own zone. Trying to get it out is the Vikings, and they will get it into the Kirkland Lake zone. Control behind their net. Sent in, and Kirkland Lake will go forward with it. Benjamin Armitage in the corner, fighting, comes away with it, backhand, just goes wide. Will be fought in the corner once more by both teams. Vikings recover, chip it out past the blue line, and taken back quickly is Abresh. Tries to take it into the corner of the Elliot Lake zone, but can't get it done. Vikings will flip it up high and clear it to neutral ice. Collisions at neutral, but they can't shake the Vikings of the puck. Bounces off the pads and high off into the netting, and that will bring us to our mid-period break.
So just to get back to those numbers of the goaltenders, Connor Davis from Kirkland Lake, credited with 4 games played, but he's only credited with 2 results, as 1 loss and 1 overtime loss. His goals against average is 5.01, save percentage is 0.484. Nope, I said that backwards, 848. So not stellar numbers, but not incredibly terrible either, and it looks like he almost sort of a victim of positioning for the way he's credited with games. Cameron Beauville is a similar type of situation. It looks like 3 games played, credited with 2 losses. Goals against average of 5.08, save percentage of .891. So very similar numbers between the 2 goaltenders, but they both look great so far today, with 5 shots from one, 8 shots on the other, and no goals scored.
It's been a much more balanced game than the start of the other ones that we saw on this pad here yesterday. Both teams with a couple of breakout chances, but nothing solid, no real setups. And both teams looking to get this first goal up here on the board. Has 8 shots on goal for the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners in their whites, and the Vikings with 5 shots in their home greens. Vikings win it back to the point. Nystrom with the puck, flips it on net, but it will be deflected off a stick and go high, and we will have another draw in the Kirkland Lake zone.
The other thing that we want to make sure that we're making mention of during these games is that the NOHA is teaming up with the Sudbury, Manitoulin Canadian Mental Health Association. You can visit talktoday.ca or sm.cmha.ca.
Thank you for that, Ben. Absolutely a very important subject to talk about, especially in sports, especially in the sport of hockey. Vikings will try and control it in the Kirkland Lake zone, but it is taken out. Woodard brings it up the right side, flicks it on net, and that will be reacted to just in time by the Elliot Lake goalie.
And that there was a textbook save, exactly what you want to be doing as a goalie. You drop into your butterfly and you just collapse on the puck and you don't let it rebound out.
Positioning was really good, read the play the entire way and made no mistake about it.
Yeah, the one thing I'm seeing a lot of is, out of both these goalies, but particularly at the other end from Kirkland Lakes, is economy of movement, where they're not doing a lot of extra up and down.
And a really good opportunity there, as it would be Kirkland Lake with a really good backhand opportunity, but can't finish on it as the puck just goes wide. Fight now behind the net. Puck pops out right in front of the slot, but can't be controlled by Bastien Picard. Bastien Picard with another shot on net. The puck loose, but the play will be called dead, and we'll have a scramble around the net. It will be taken under control quickly, and we will have another draw in the Elliot Lake Viking zone.
Yeah, and despite the fact that there was quite a bit of scrambling, pushing and shoving, both these teams are here to play hockey. It's quite apparent. We're not seeing a lot of extracurriculars after the whistle. And they're just getting right back up and they're lining up for the face-off or making their changes, and they're not pushing and jawing. And by the end of yesterday, we were seeing a lot of that at some of the games.
That can be agreed upon. Vikings win it in their own zone. We'll pass it behind the net. Take their time clearing. Will be sent up neutral ice, but Kirkland Lake will quickly recover. Pushing up the ice now is McKindu. Gathered at the blue line by the Vikings now as it was sent around. Vikings vying for control. Bertrand tried to muscle off the puck there, but couldn't get it done as the puck's now sent down the ice. will be beat for icing. The Vikings once more up the ice. Bertrand sends it in. Taken away by a stick of a gold miner. And Norris will put the pressure on. McKindu gets the puck at the blue line, keeps it in. Ellis now fighting behind the net. Still fighting for the puck. It is frozen quickly along the boards here. Both teams trying to kick it out. And it will come free to the Vikings, who will take control. Shot up the boards. And still being held at the blue line here. Kirkland Lake. Bevan will flick it in on net. Will go off a stick and into the corner. And the gold miners trying to center it. Shot on net just goes wide by Allen. Right along the boards. Bevan once more. Shot on net. And the Vikings will not be able to control it as that one is squeaked through the pads of the Vikings goaltender. And Kirkland Lake, with 5:44 remaining in this period, will go up 1-0 as the first team to do so in this game.
In the first few minutes of this game, I would have really said the Vikings were in control of a lot of the play, even when they were shorthanded. But the last few minutes that we've seen here, the Gold Miners have really come back to take the game 1-0. Shots are even at 8-8.
And at first it looked like Beauville had all of that.
Yeah.
Just as we talked about before, his positioning was good. It seemed like he got there in time, but appeared the puck had just squeaked between his pads and into the net for the 1-0. Nystrom now with the puck into the zone. Tries to split with D, but can't. Controlled once again by Kirkland Lake in their own zone. Center it. But that is dumped back in. Puck being flung around the corners here by both teams, trying to get control. Vikings trying to get something done. Quick shot on net. And that will be handled easily by the goal miner goaltender.
And we were not particularly able to see in that scramble who was the last one to touch the puck, but it was Tyler Sweat being credited with the goal there.
Must have got just the little bit of a tip on it from that shot from the point. Kirkland Lake sending it up. And that will be a Bresch winning the race for the icing, but can't control the puck as the Vikings get back in time to take control. Centering pass for the Vikings. Gold Miners managed to get a stick on it, flick it away, maintain control once again. Ellis with the puck. Goes to dump it in from neutral ice, and that will go right out of play. I believe it hit off the glass, so that will not be a delay of game.
Now looking at both these teams, the leading point getters for Kirkland Lake Gold Miners, Noah Woodard is their leading scorer, 7 goals, 9 assists for 16 points total. For the Vikings, leading goal scorer is Gavin McClanahan, 6 goals, 6 assists for 12 points. So both have players at over a point a game clips so far.
Bevan with the puck now behind his own net, fighting for it. Coming away with it is Bastien Picard. Sends it up the ice. Vikings control it in their zone now, trying to clear it, but the pressure is being put on by the Gold Miners. Stretch pass is missed, and that will be called for icing against the Vikings, and the draw will be in their zone.
Yeah, and you can tell they were going for a stretch play there and trying to send a guy off to the races, but just didn't quite connect. And as a result, I mean, you got to take those chances, especially when you're backed by one. But when it doesn't connect, you end up with a face-off zone in your own end, and that doesn't help your cause at all either.
Woodard in the corner now. Tries to fight for it as the puck gets sent around the Viking zone. Vikings now with a chance. Centering pass just too wide. Allen in the corner now, sending it around to Woodard. Woodard tries to win the board battle. Will send it back into Allen in his own zone. Allen behind the net. Allen flicks it. Centering pass for the Vikings. Vikings 2 shots on net. Rebounds and sent around into the corner, and the gold miners will clear it all the way down the ice. Vikings goaltender will play it as the gold miners change. Leslie will tip the puck out of play off a hot pass from his teammate, and the draw will be, I believe, in neutral ice, just outside of the gold miners zone, just outside of the Viking zone.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to say because the pass was sent from back in the Vikings end and was tipped by a Vikings player out, they just send the face-off all the way back.
McKindu wins his draw. Norris will go after it. And it will be sent back to Schuker. Schuker passes it over to his teammate. McKindu will tip it into the zone of the Vikings. Into the corner. Fighting for it are both teams. Many players, but the Vikings come out ahead. Abaflam came into the zone, but it will be called just offside.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how these teams are matching up here, just because, again, as we talked about all yesterday, these are most of the teams that we don't see a whole lot of. So getting to see how they interact with the other teams against, as opposed to how they play against Powassan, is an interesting take on the game, and, you know, enhances our broadcast when we go back to Powassan. We've already seen these players.
Absolutely. Fighting once again in the Vikings corner. They will try and control it. Brousseau and Genovese will flick it back in. The Vikings maintain. Cycling back and forth behind their own net. Lots of board battles here today, and the puck will once again be taken behind by the Vikings. Sweat with the puck, toss it up to neutral ice, but the Vikings will take it. Vikings will take it behind the gold miners' net, centering pass, but many gold miner sticks all over it, and the Vikings can't hack away at it. DuPont, center ice, flicks it up, and will be dumped into the gold miner zone. Will be sent up and caught along the boards. Puck flicked over to DuPont. Can't corral it, and it will go all the way back to Kirkland Lake. Devin will play it along the boards. Send it up for his teammate, but taken at center ice by DuPont. Gold miners play it behind their own net. Pass intercepted, but it will clear the zone. Dupuis will chase after it in the Viking zone, and we'll find it in the corner. We are now in the last minute of play of the first period. Centering pass, hacked away by the gold miners, but can't finish it. Gray tips it back in at the blue line. And the play will be called dead. Or I believe there will be an interference penalty on the play.
Yeah, interference is being called, but on that play there, that was a great save by the goaltender. A nice little feed out to right in front of the net for a tip-in, and he was able to get himself across and make the save. Unfortunately, one of his players went to the box immediately after, so he's probably going to have to make a few more of those in these last 47 seconds of this period. But we haven't seen too much excitement in this game yet, and I don't know if it's first thing in the morning, first game of the day type of thing, but I'm sure it'll be picking up as the periods go on.
Gold miners did win the draw in their zone, but the Vikings were able to quickly clear it. Bevan behind his own net will start the push up the ice. Drops it back for his teammate, Bastien Picard. Dupuis to Bastien Picard. Bastien Picard across to Bevan. Bevan shot on net, deflected high, stays in. Armitage sends it. Bastien Picard shot on net. Armitage once more with it along the boards. Bevan throws it into the slot, but the Vikings hack away at it, and that will do it for this first period of play. It is the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners up 1-0. Shots knotted at 11 and a minute 13 remaining on the power play for the visiting Kirkland Lake Gold Miners. Thoughts, Ben, after the first 20 of play?
Yeah, it's been a relatively calm game. We've seen a couple penalties, but nothing major. The first power play both been penalties for the Vikings. The first power play for the Gold Miners, they really weren't able to get much going together, but they've really built a lot of steam. So I think for the duration of the minute 13 left we have in this power play, we might see some better chances for the Gold Miners.
Could not agree more with that, Ben. I'm Harrison Clements. He's Ben Long. And we have birthday boy Mike on the camera.
Happy birthday, Mike!
And we will be back with you right after this intermission. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Day 2 of the NOJHL Showcase. I'm Harrison Clements. With me is Ben Long, and we are entering Period 2 of the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners versus the Elliot Lake Vikings. Going right to left are the Gold Miners in their away whites. Going left to right are the Vikings in their home green. Score is currently 1-0 in favor of the Gold Miners. Off the draw, Gold Miners win it. It is Ellis with the puck, sends it over to Gray. Gray sends it over to a Bresh. Bresh controlling the puck, shot on net, deflected wide and behind the net. Sent back up to Gray. Gray with the puck. Goes into the corner, high shot off the crossbar, deflects back to the far side blue line. Into the corner is Gray. Gray to Myuri. Myuri in the corner. Sends it out to Ellis at the blue line. Ellis to Gray. Gray shot on net, goes high. Back and recovered by Ellis. Pops up in the air. Ellis will recover, but the Vikings take it. Up the boards is McClenahan, but is taken away by Ellis. Ellis to a Bresh. Bresh over to Myuri. Myuri tries to get the shot off, but it goes into the corner. Back is Gray. Slap pass deflected wide by one of the Vikings. And there is a board battle for it. Gray thinks he just keeps it in, but it will be called offside here with 18:40 remaining.
Yeah, and the power play that the Gold Miners came into this period with is now over. They got a couple good chances, though. They had a couple really good shots. One that was off a blocker, off a post, and as a goalie, that's a sound you love to hear. When anytime one gets by, if you can make it hit a post and not go in, that's as good as a save.
Hard to deny that. Dupuis with the puck. Pushes into the zone, but can't control. And the Vikings will clear. Neutral zone pass. Goes to Genovese, but it is called offside once again.
Yeah, that was a bad play by Thompson of the Vikings to turn it over right in the neutral zone. But fortunately for him, the man that was on him stepped across the blue line before the guy he gave the puck to.
Draw just in front of the Kirkland Lake bench, won by the Vikings. Over to Menard. Menard sends it up to his teammate, DuPont. Tries to get the shot on net, but it is sent into the corner. Slapped out of the way by the Vikings and almost cleared by Kirkland Lake. Menard sends it back on net. Play is deflected into the corner by a player in front. Fight along the boards between the Vikings and the Gold Miners, and it will be just cleared across the blue line, but recovered in. Oh, it slips off the stick of a Viking defender, and Genovese will fight in the corner for it. Genovese still fighting. Puck behind the net. Bresh with the puck now. Bresh will try and clear. Kept in by Ellis at the blue line and dump back in. Bresh will chase after it. And the Vikings will be able to recover behind their own net. Tucholsky will keep it in, try and fire it around, but Ellis will dump it on net, and it will be bounced into the corner. Armitage sends it in, but the Vikings recover. Tucholsky dumps it in for the Vikings to get a change. Gold Miners send it up. Armitage tries to control it. It's kept in by Bresh. Bresh will fling it towards the net. Doesn't get all of it. And it will bounce around. Gold Miners try and keep it in. Armitage will fight for the puck. But the Vikings fighting hard in the corner. Ellis will try and keep control of the puck, but the Vikings tenacious in their own zone and finally get it out. Palandra dumps it in to the far corner. Fight between Brousseau And Dupuis will send a player into the bench. Kirkland Lake tries to get it. Soft dump down the ice on net. Bertrand now with the puck enters the zone. Drop to Polandra. Bertrand circling around the Kirkland Lake net will be tripped up, and that will be called here at 15:52. And the Vikings will go on the power play.
Now we will see if the Vikings can turn the tides back a little bit the other way. They started off really strong in this game, but since the first little bit of time, I don't know, probably 5-10 minutes, it's been mostly gold miners going the other way. But now that they have a chance with a man advantage here, we'll see if they turn the tide, get some good chances, maybe even up the score a little. Up the score here.
Shots 13-5 in favor of the gold miners. And the draw will be in the Kirkland Lake zone. Won by the Vikings. Bertrand at the blue line with it. Passes it back. Bertrand receives it once again. Slap pass over to DuPont. Fires it on net. Deflected off a defender, but will regather it at the blue line. DuPont over to his teammate. Behind the net. Dances in. Deflects off the pad and into the corner. Bertrand with it now. Back to DuPont at the point. Who will skate into the corner. Holds it. Sends it over to his teammate who is taken out in the corner. It will be recovered by DuPont, but poked away. We now have Tyler Genovese in a partial breakaway, but can't get away with it. Shot is wide. And it will be deflected out of play into the Kirkland Lake bench.
It's a little bit of a shame for Genovese there that he did not look back and see that he had Woodard with him for a 2-on-1, that they could have controlled the puck a little bit more in the other team's zone and maybe even gone off to a better chance. But fortunately for the Vikings, he just took a shot on net that was pretty easily saved and knocked it to the corner and then found its way into the bench. And we're back to a face-off.
Face-off, I guess you could say, was won by Kirkland Lake there, but it will be maintained by the Vikings in their zone. And the Vikings will start their counteroffensive. Meanwhile, being on the power play, McKindu doing a good job of keeping the Vikings back. As their penalty kill unit went for a change. Big hit on the blue line there just after the puck was dumped in. And a fight now on the board. Sent back out to Menard. Menard sends it over. Shot on net is deflected. Menard once again recovers it. Chichelski can't keep control of it. And it will go into the Kirkland Lake zone. 20 seconds remaining. And Dupuis finds himself just offside off a beautiful stretch pass off the boards from his own zone.
Yeah, that one was getting a little greedy with trying to get away with something there. And unfortunately for Dupuis' sake, he crossed the blue line a little bit before the puck. Otherwise, he would have been home free on the goalie with a breakaway chance. Instead, we're back all the way in. The gold miners end with 16 seconds left on the power play.
Draw one by Kirkland Lake, and they will make no mistake about clearing that to kill off the majority of the remainder of this penalty. Vikings in their own zone now will start their final push. But can't get it past center ice as Gray pokes it in. Tough stuff along the boards here as the Vikings recovered. Pushing up the zone. And Sweat will fight in the corner for the puck. Schuker over there as well. Gold Miners bounces up the boards. It will trickle across, and Nystrom controls it in his own zone. Backhand pass it. Dufour tries to lay the body along the neutral zone, but the Vikings will control it still. Bevan cuts into the zone with speed. Shot on net. Goalie just gets a piece of it, and it deflects into the corner. Neutral ice controlled by the Gold Miners. Bevan gets it at the blue line, skates in. Shot on net that gets tipped. Goaltender doesn't get all of it, and it ends in the net from Bevan. 2-0 now, Kirkland Lake Gold Miners with 12:44 remaining. Sorry, it was not Bevan who finishes that play. It ended up being Norris.
And that looks like that was his first NOJHL goal as the players from his team went back and collected the puck for him. But that was a nice little bounce that he got where the goalie was trying to make a play, a little spun out of position, just off the post, and I think it bounced off the goalie's skate and even back into his own net.
Was a shot that did not look like it was going to go in, but fortunately for the Gold Miners, they extend their lead here midway through the second. Battle in front of the Kirkland Lake zone now. And the Vikings recover. Send it over to Chichelski, who manages to dipsy-doodle his way into the zone. Shot on net. Rebound given up, but shot is just wide into the corner. The Vikings looking to strike back quickly here. Beautiful shot, pass to Norris. Norris skates into the zone. The two Vikings defend. Big check in the Vikings zone, and the puck squirts free, but the Vikings will manage to clear it. Menard shot into the corner. Menard gets the puck along the face-off circle, tries to shoot it on net, but will dump it back to the blue line off of the deflection. Dump into the zone, and 24 Armitage will try and deal with it. Long stretch pass to Dupuis. Dupuis will hold on to it and fling it into the corner off a deflected light pass. Puck dances along in the corners, and the Vikings recover. Vikings captain now carrying it forward, will lay down a late hit, but it will be called okay. Obrecht chases after the puck into the corner, but the Vikings control it. Nice little chip pass up. Menard with it, with speed. Shot, deflection. Behind the Kirkland Lake net are the Vikings looking to strike back here. 10:52 remaining in the second. Good check laid behind. And Armitage will squirt the puck free, but is now in control by Dupuis, who will chip it up. Abresh with the puck, shot on net. Rebound, forehand, backhand, just goes wide. And Bevan will control the puck as it is out of the zone. Dupuis at the blue line. Fighting for it. Gray will chip it in. And the Vikings will hold it now as some of the Kirkland Lake players will go for a change. Abresh will keep it in the offensive zone. Just loses it. Will be chipped up into neutral ice. And Kirkland Lake just cycling through players here, trying to get a full new line on. Vikings up to the blue line now, managing to do such and push in. Skating into the zone, crashing the net, but nothing doing as the goaltender stands steady. Quick one-timer off a loose puck is Menard. Kirkland Lake now trying to get out of their own zone as the Vikings had a good amount of pressure there. Shot up the ice. Puck squeaks in and out of the zone. Delayed offside. But the Gold Miners touch up and get back in. Now a rush up the ice for the Vikings, and they will draw a penalty. I believe it will be a tripping call against the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners.
Yeah, the Vikings are going to get another shot at the power play here and see what they can make happen. Shots are tied at 17-7. And in the last couple of minutes, the Vikings have had a few good shots on. They have a few other good looks where they've had good control of the puck. But what some of their players have been doing have been sliding into positions. Instead of finding an open spot, they're sliding behind Gold Miners players to take away the pass.
Absolutely. And the Vikings will get another opportunity here. As you said, that is Allen into the box. And we will have 5-on-4 play here for the next 2 minutes or less. Draw one by the Vikings. Back to the point. Over to Bertrand. Bertrand back to the point. Shot on net. And that is gloved down easily by the Kirkland Lake gold miner, Davis.
Yeah, that was a nice, easy glove save for him to keep in, but both the goalies actually have been having a little trouble with pucks hitting the glove and back out, so to see him keep it in, that's always good for his team.
Draw one by the Vikings and back to the blue line. Controlled and sent over. McClellan with it. Fires into the corner to his teammate. Cycling it back up to the blue line. Long pass along the top of the zone. Now DuPont to Bertrand. Bertrand skating across with it. Sends it back over. DuPont manages to just keep it in the zone. Will skate into the corner. Create some space. Chips it over to Bertrand. Bertrand skating along. Back to DuPont. DuPont tries to keep it in. And the Vikings can't get anything done. 50 seconds gone on this power play. Chipped into the zone. And the Vikings will regroup here as they go for another push up the ice in the final minute of this power play. Quickly taken away. Puck is Ellis, and that will try to be chipped out of the zone. DuPont, quick slap pass, cross zone. And the Vikings, once again, cannot keep it in as it is sent back into their own zone. 35 seconds remaining on this power play. Stolen in front of the net. Dupuis shot on net, but it bounces away. Vikings finally clearing it. Dupuis will chase after it as the Kirkland Lake goal miners manage to dump it back into the zone. 15 seconds on this power play. And nothing doing so far. Skating into the zone are the Vikings. 5 seconds left. Can they get anything done? It is Leslie. Sends it back to Menard. Menard sends it across. Shot on net. Rebound. And wide open net. As number 15, Gavin McClenahan makes no mistake about it. And the Vikings, just as this power play ends, will bring this within one on their 20th shot of the game.
And McClenahan shows us exactly why he's the leading scorer for the Vikings currently. Right in the exactly right spot where he needs to be to pick up a loose rebound and pop it into the gaping open net.
You would have to try to miss a shot like that. That was great seeing that rebound. Bring this within one after, quite honestly, what was an unimpressive power play.
Yeah.
They were able to recover and bring this within one with 7 minutes remaining on this clock here. Pushing into the zone now are the Vikings again. They will bring it into the corner. Quickly recovered by Bastien Picard. But the Vikings, quick shot and scores again. The Vikings now tying this. I believe that was number 25, Chichelski. Nope. It was number 74, Abaflan. Abaflan found the loose puck, and within a matter of a single minute, this game is tied up.
Yeah, they looked like they were having a really hard struggle. They had a weak power play there that Kirkland Lake seemed to have them figured out. But as soon as they got off that power play, popped 2 quick goals, and it's a tie game again.
Messy draw at center ice, and the Vikings come away with it. Dancing along the blue line. Kirkland Lake trying to clear now. Clearly on the back foot. Abresh will chip it out and chase after it. The Vikings can't get it out. Finally managing to, pushing up the ice. Palandra gets it. Chips it behind the net. Will recover it on his own. Skating around. Fires it into the corner. And that will be Schuker. Tries to control it. Kirkland Lake now pushing into the zone. Shot on net, rebound. 2 players sliding into the Vikings net. but it will stay on. Quick pass in front of Kirkland Lake, and there will be a penalty being called here against the Vikings.
That was a very bizarre penalty call. That the Vikings had the puck for a while, and no penalty was called. The Vikings goalie left the net. The Gold Miners picked up the puck, rushed down the ice. The Vikings goaltender thought, oh no, maybe it's not my penalty, started skating back to his end, and then the ref blew down the play. And it is, in fact, a gold miner going into the box.
Very strange looking there. And I believe that was with that trip into the goaltender.
Yeah.
That was very delayed called on.
Two of them took each other down, and I'm not entirely sure what was going on there. But we have another Vikings penalty, which on the last power play, we had a very strong Gold Miners penalty kill, and they had some really good chances off it even. So we'll see if they can pull that again or who's going to come out ahead of this one.
DuPont tries to win the draw, and they do. Bertrand back at the blue line, passes it over. Bertram can't control the puck as it gets passed back, skips between his legs. But will recover in his own zone. DuPont with the puck now. Feeling the pressure. Genovese putting it on as the Vikings try to get something going here on another power play. Finally, trying to push out. Long pass to neutral ice. Controlled at the blue line. Bevan says no to that and chips it out. And the Gold Miners send it back in. This penalty kill looking good so far. Kirkland Lake already killing 50 seconds off of this one. Palandra with the puck at the blue line now. Dances along. Puts it into the corner to his teammate. Palandra once again at the blue line. Passing back and forth. DuPont shot on net. Blocked off a defender. DuPont with the puck one more time. Will send it into the corner. Palandra shot on net. Sorry, I believe that was actually Nathan Marincola. Shot on net and gobbled up by the Kirkland Lake goalie.
We're heading towards a 5-on-3 for the next 49 seconds. And then we'll have another minute and 11 seconds of a 5-on-4 as Ellis takes an interference penalty. Now, the one thing that I've seen with the power play for the Vikings is that they've been focusing on having three guys high above the circles and passing around that umbrella, while the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners just having two guys out up high, and then that takes away any of those passes that they can make, and then it's just 2-on-2 down low. And they've had great pressure with that, great success with that pressure, and then transforming that pressure into the offensive end as well.
Vikings win the draw. Menard passes it over. The Vikings playing much lower now. Menard receives the pass, just above face-off circle. Receives it once again. Pass over, shot on net. Rebound. And Menard will manage to keep it in. Vikings in the corner. Skate up to the blue line now. McLennan with it. Passes it to the corner, receives the puck back as McLennan. McLennan shot on net, deflected off of Dupuis' shins. Vikings 3-2-1, and it is now a 5-on-4. McLennan calling for the puck, shot on net, and it somehow stays out and into the corner. Gold Miners scramble for the puck. It is McClellan with another shot on net, just gets deflected wide. Skating along the blue line of the Vikings. Tuchelski, shot on net, and that is taken away by Connor Davis. Shots now 26-19 in favor of the Vikings.
Yeah, with 44 seconds left in this power play, with 3 minutes and 11 seconds left in this period, This period's been a lot more exciting than the last period. We've seen a little bit more injuries, penalties. We've seen a lot more physical play in terms of like clean hits and good, solid, hard hits. We've seen 3 goals in this period so far. It's been quite an exciting period, and I'm, looking forward to the rest of it coming through here.
And as we get back to it, DuPont will receive the puck off of the draw in the offensive zone. Receives it once more at the blue line. Shot on net. Hit some traffic in front. Bertrand back to DuPont. DuPont slap pass into the corner. Receives it once again. Looking for a lane. Shoots it loosely in. 2 post shots, and it somehow stays out into the corner. Vikings, a couple of good chances. And finally, the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners will manage to clear it as McKindu puts on the pressure. And will manage to keep it into the Viking zone. But the Vikings clear it up the ice. And it will be called offside. And we will finally have our mid-period break, as mid-period breaks are not called during penalties.
Correct. That was a great extended. And now that we're on the mid-period break, I'd like to take a moment to mention the Canadian Mental Health Association Sudbury Manitoulin is a community-based mental health and addictions care organization that provides a wide range of supports and services to Greater Sudbury and region. To learn more, you can visit CMHA Sudbury Manitoulin at 111 Elm Street, Sudbury, or go to sm.cmha.ca.
Now, as we've been talking about all through this tournament here, CMHA has been providing services in the local and surrounding areas.
Yep.
And mental health is such an important topic to talk about. Pressure on these young guys and throughout all professional sports is very, very important to keep in mind. There's pressure on these young guys. There's a lot of expectations for themselves, from the teammates, from the communities. And getting in your own head can certainly be a problem. So having those resources talked about, erasing that stigma, it's really, really key.
Big part of it is head injuries, common in hockey, commonly factor into mental health illnesses. You have guys as young as 16 being away from their homes, having to deal with school and hockey in a new town. And it can all be really stressful and really kind of pile up.
Could not agree more, Ben, as we get back to play here. Shot up and cleared. Norris will chase into it, into the Viking zone, but the Vikings get it back in their own corner. Held into the blue line. Slap pass as Mayuri recovers in the corner. Mayuri back up to the blue line. Quick shot on net. And the Vikings get in the way of it. Brief 3-on-2. As the Vikings try and get it in, but can't get anything off of it as they go for a change. Puck held into the Kirkland Lake zone. McKindu dumps it in. And will recover it himself behind the net, but blows a tire as it's taken into the boards. Puck will get slapped and hit the netting, and the play will be called dead in the Viking zone. Minute 26 remaining here. Score still 2-2. Shots 27-19 in favor of the Elliot Lake Vikings.
Yeah, the last few minutes that we've seen, they've really stormed back in this period from being down and sort of looked like they were almost a little towards the out of the game after they got down 2-0.
Puck still in the Viking zone. Will be flicked up and taken by Gray at neutral ice. Takes it in. Kirkland Lake centering pass. Like no one can make a connection. Puck sent all the way down into the Kirkland Lake zone. And there will be no icing. Kirkland Lake tries to clear. Vikings jump all over it in front of their net. But can't get anything going. Battle along the boards here with 45 seconds remaining. Dumped into the KL zone, and Bevan will go after it. Passed up to Bastien Picard, but can't handle. As Strzelski sends it over to DuPont. DuPont goes for the shot on net, but it can't get through the defenders. Contact here as Woodard knocks down a Viking at center ice. Lots of neutral zone play as this period is winding down. 15 seconds. Kirkland Lake will have one last push in the dying seconds. Chip into the zone, and the Vikings will recover. 4, 3, 2, 1 in neutral ice, and that will do it as the buzzer sounds. 2-2 is the score, 27-19 shots in favor of the Vikings, and we will have all this third period action coming up soon. Final thoughts from you, Ben, of this period?
Yeah, super exciting period there. We had, right at the end there, we saw Woodard and Menard were jawing at each other back and forth all shift. One knocked the other down, and then they'd tussle up, and then they'd go down the ice, and they'd meet up again, and a little pushing and shoving, little half attempts at trips, little things like that. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of an explosive third period here ahead of us.
Couldn't agree more with you there, Ben. And we will have all the action for you here on Flow Hockey and the front line here live from the NOJHL Showcase. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Period 3 of the Elliot Lake Vikings versus the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners. I'm Harrison Clemens, joined with me by Ben Long, and we have the Gold Miners going left to right in their away whites, and right to left are the Vikings in their home greens. So far, the score is 2-2, shots 27-19 in favor of the Vikings, and the Vikings have the puck in their own zone. And dumped down behind the Gold Miners' net. Ellis fighting for it. And recovers, able to pass it up and clear their zone. Going forward quickly is Armitage. Armitage with a quick move, centering pass, and Dupuis will find it in the corner. But the Vikings strip it and are able to clear their zone. Holding behind their net now. And clearing are the Gold Miners. Gold Miners able to push through. Dupuis to Armitage. Armitage can't quite control it in the slot and will hold it in the corner. Fight along the near side boards now in the Viking zone. Chipped ahead at center ice, and it will be called icing as it was just before the red line.
Yeah, and there was some really nice plays there in this first 1 minute of action here from particularly Kirkland Lakes. Has a couple nice chances on there, a little 2-on-1 rush. But yeah, this period's going to be an interesting one. The shots have favored heavily on behalf of the Vikings. But at different times this game, it looks like the Gold Miners are the ones that could be running away with it.
Could not agree more. Vikings win the draw in their own zone. Abaflan with it. Abaflan trying to break out. Gets that chance, pushing through center ice, and will dump it in for a line change. Ellis will recover in their zone. Kirkland Lakes. Long pass. Doesn't quite connect. Many sticks flying up in the air. The Vikings will bring it back into Kirkland Lakes. Kirkland Lake dumbing it down. Woodard will try and clear that. Can't do it. Vikings back into their own zone. Chichelski shot on net. Just goes wide. Recovery. Bouncing puck right in the slot. What a beautiful diving block by McKindu. Kirkland Lake will get a change off. And Schuker play it back to his defenseman there. Pass to neutral ice, gets deflected off a stick and out of play. 17:52 remaining here in the third period.
Yeah, this is an interesting room where they have the protective meshing going all the way around, including behind the players' benches. And that one there was hit the mesh behind the players' bench where the puck dropped down. Looked like it almost hit a coach, but he quickly dodged out of the way of it.
Draw just outside of the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners zone and will be won by the Vikings. Quickly dumped in by Leslie and play behind the net by the KL goaltender. Shot up the boards, and Thompson will keep it in. Dumps it back in. Pelandria will try and play it. And Bevan will keep it behind his own net. Bevan chips it up the boards. And it will just hit a Kirkland Lake player, as this will be called out of play. But the draw will be in the far side of the Kirkland Lake zone.
So we'll see if they can manage to get the puck out and down towards the other end and have some more control and take back the game, or if the Vikings are going to be the ones that walk away with the win here.
Kirkland Lake wins the draw in their own zone. Long dump in, hoping to be able to beat the icing, but Myuri can't quite get there in time, and the draw will be back in the same spot of Kirkland Lake zone. Oh, on the near side this time of Kirkland Lake zone.
Yeah, and as has been happening, both these goalies seem to have been struggling on rebounds for most of this game, and that's been a cause of a bunch of the plays so far.
Bevan with the puck behind his own net now. Passes it up. They're able to just get it out. Morris trying to cut in. Slot. And McKindu had a nice backhand chance. Will it count? I don't believe so. Goaltender just managed to keep a hold of all of that. And we will have a draw in the Viking zone. I stand corrected. It appears we have a penalty. Gavin McLennan will be going off. And for the first time in a while here, Kirkland Lake will go on the advantage. Puck draw 1 back to the blue line by the Gold Miners. Gray with it. Dumps it down into the corner. Gray gets it back. Dumps it back in. Quick shot on net. And saved. Oh, scramble in front of the net. Play is not called dead. Puck is still loose. Vikings out with it quick. Pushing up the ice is Dubois. Ellis with the puck behind his own net now. Kirkland Lake going back the other way. Quick dump into the zone by Mayuri. Mayuri in the corner with it. Sends it back out to the blue line. Gray with it. Gray to Mayuri. Mayuri to Gray. One-time shot just goes wide. Gray skating in with it. Another shot. Goalie loses sight of the puck, but it goes back into the corner. Mayuri. Back out. Shot on net. Scramble in front of the net. Caught in between a bunch of skates here. That is a Bresch with it. Bresch to Ellis. Ellis to a Bresch. A Bresch shot on net. Deflection off a defender. And it is a 1-on-1 with Dubois with the puck. Shot goes way wide and out of the Kirkland Lake zone. 28 seconds here on this power play for the Gold Miners. What a shot! What a goal! Abaflam gets the puck short-handed as it comes loose in the offensive zone. Goes bottom glove. Beautiful 3-2 with 15:26 remaining here in the third period.
Yeah, and that's a deflating play for the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners to be up by 1 and then have this happen. But that's the game of hockey. We'll see if they can bounce back here. They have 20 seconds left with the man advantage to try and get that one back.
Kirkland Lake manages to win the center ice draw and will regroup with 15 seconds left on the power play. Bevan pushing up the ice, but gets stripped to the puck. Abaflam, the goal scorer, will send the puck back into the Kirkland Lake zone. Dupuis will corral it and start pushing up the ice. Dupuis with speed, chips it behind the net. Quick shot, goes off the blocker and into the corner. And the fight along the corner here. Big hit, and that's going to be a penalty in the Vikings corner. And that will be 23, Noah Woodard going. Wait, no, it won't be Woodard. It will be Woodard going off into the box.
Yeah, that was a bit of a play where we weren't really sure what was going on, what the ref was calling there, but things have been sorted out. Oh, looks like the door's still open. Are they expecting another guy in there? A 2 and a 10 maybe?
So it will be 2 minutes for Woodard. And joining him in the box will be Darian DeFore.
They're announcing the goal. So waiting to see what the call on that
For those of you just joining us, the score is 3-2 in favor of the Elliot Lake Vikings. Their latest was a shorthanded goal by Noah Abaflan, assisted by Connor Dubois. Goals before that, Noah Abaflan was also the second goal of the game. He has 2 points and 2 goals in this one, and the first goal for the Vikings was Gavin McLennan. Before that, first goal of the game was Tyler Sweat, assisted by Tyler Genovese and Cameron Allen, and Evan Norris and Aiden Bevan, assisted by Tyler Sweat as well for the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners. Score 3-2, and Vikings on a 2 minutes or less power play. Gold Miners managed to keep it out of the zone. Menard send it over to Abaflan. Abaflan pushes through, dumps it to Leslie. Leslie gets it towards the net. Abaflan goes for a quick backhand, but it goes wide. To McClellan. McClellan, shot, goes wide again. Menard manages to keep it in. Sends it into the corner. Quick shot, deflected, rebound. Fighting behind the net now are the two teams, but the Vikings come out on top. Abaflan can't quite keep it in. And the penalty kill unit for the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners will switch off 2 guys. Vikings now getting ready for a push. Menard getting pushed around a little bit at center ice as the Vikings push the puck into the zone. 50 seconds remaining on this power play for Elliot Lake. Elliot Lake. Palandra sends it over to DuPont. DuPont can't get all of that one, and the puck gets free. Kirkland Lake with it now just outside their blue line, and they will send it the length of the ice to get some relief. 30 seconds remaining. And that will be a penalty called on to the Elliot Lake goaltender, Cameron Boville, as the Kirkland Lake attacker goes down behind the net. As Tyler Sweat being taken out by the Vikings tender.
Yeah, he is down, and it's not looking good for him right now.
Trainer coming out to take a look.
And in dealing with some tech issues, I missed the play altogether, so I can't even...
Yeah, it is, he's slowly getting up now, Sweat. Of his own power. Trainer walking beside him, but he will be able to get up of his own volition. And now this power play cut short for the Vikings, as now they will have 26 seconds of 4-on-4 play, and then about a minute and a half of a power play for the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners. For the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners, as they desperately need one with 13:11 remaining here in this third period. Draw on the far side of the Viking zone. Draw won by the Gold Miners to Ellis. Ellis passes it over to Gray. Gray being chased out. Ellis sends it back to Gray. Gray with it in his own zone. Setting up behind their own net. Taking their time. 8 seconds left of 4-on-4. And they will start the push up the ice now. Gray drops it back, but it's intercepted. DuPont, shot on net, stopped. Gray will recover it. And Gray will send it up the ice. Ellis will control it in the attacking zone. Gray will recover it. Ellis at the blue line, sends it back into the corner. At the point, Gray fakes the shot, and they are stripped of the puck. DuPont starts with a 2-on-1, but it is taken away at the corner by the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners, getting nothing going during this power play. Ellis Chips it over to Gray. Abresh with it now in the zone. Sends it around the boards. Gold Miners manage to corral it at the blue line. Dupuy into the corner. Gets it back. Dupuy one more time into the corner. Puck finds its way to Gray. Gray shot on net. Glove down easily by the Vikings netminder. There's 23 seconds left on this power play here for Kirkland Lake, hoping to get something done. Shots 33-25 in favor of the Vikings.
Yeah, the first good chance on this power play was for the Vikings, where there's a steal on a attempted breakout from the Gold Miners' end, and he was left all alone with the puck in front of the goalie. Fortunately for the Gold Miners, he didn't get through. Now we're back under play here, and the Vikings have cleared it.
Armitage got the puck off the draw, but was not able to keep it. Bevan behind his own net now. 10 seconds remaining on this power play. One final push up here for the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners as Dupuy takes it into the zone. Dupuy taken off of the puck. And behind the net, puck will get sent all the way around. And icing will be waved off, as it was the dying seconds of the penalty kill for the Vikings. Almost stripped of the puck again is Bevan. But the Gold Miners managed to get it into the Vikings zone. Big hit behind the Vikings net there. Dupuy can't corral the puck on the face-off circle. And the Gold Miners will try and take it back into their own zone. High shot from Shanks, as it shanks off a stick into the glass. Battle in front of the slot. And Kirkland Lake will finally get it out of their own zone. Battle along the boards here. Rousseau with it. Shot on net. Bounces off of a stick. But the Kirkland Lake goaltender Cameron Boville will get all of that one, and the play will be called dead with 10:17 remaining here in the third period.
To be honest, I think this period's a little less exciting than the last period. That second period really heated up a whole lot. And this one's been, there's been physical play still, and there's been one goal, and there's been some play, but there was just a lot of action, and I'm wondering if it's maybe this period's going to be coasting out till the end.
Vikings here with a push. Abelflan, two-time goal scorer, cuts in, puck goes wide. And the Gold Miners try and clear it, but it is kept in and finally pops out. Sweat battling with Dufour in the neutral zone. Dufour with a big hit on Bertrand. That is deemed not a penalty. Ellis will receive the puck in the neutral zone. Sends it around to Tyler Genovese. Genovese dumps it the rest of the way in as the Gold Miners try and get set up. Sweat behind the net. And the Vikings send it all the way down the ice. And that will be icing, and that will lead us to our mid-period break.
Nope.
Oh.
Because it's icing, we do not take
because it's icing.
Break here.
You're right.
But I just want to say again, as soon as Ben makes a comment about this period might be a little calmer and settle down for the rest of the game, some big hits, couple of chances on one end, play back and forth. Yep. If I'm going to make a commentary, they're going to go out there and prove me wrong after.
Absolutely, and that has held true this whole tournament. Draw one by Kirkland Lake, sent back to the blue line. But they are stripped of the puck. Up the rush here are the Vikings. Can't get all of that, and it will be frozen by Kirkland Lake in their zone.
Yeah, and there's going to be a 2-minute penalty here, so we're not going to get our mid-period break now as well. Or maybe they are going to give it to us anyway. But what happened there is when he blocked the shot and tried to get by him, he would have been clear away, but the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners player stayed with him and grabbed onto him, and it looks like that was Brousseau, that was the offending player. Sometimes you have to take that penalty, but that is what it is, right? You got it. If you get caught flat-footed, sometimes you have to sit in the box.
And we will have a brief timeout here.
So what happened there was the players went because the buzzer sounded, but then the refs were like, nope, this is not where the break goes.
Them's the breaks, but this is not one of them, as we will have a face-off in the Kirkland Lake zone, won by the Vikings. Take it back to the blue line. Goal scorer Abelflan sends it towards the net. sent into the corner now. Abelflan looking for the pass, finds it in the slot, jumping puck. Vikings, gold miners battling for it, but is held in by Menard at the blue line, sends it all the way in. Minute 30 remaining on the penalty here. Vikings retain it at the blue line, sent into the corner and cleared across the crease. Krzyzelski sends it. Shot from his teammate is sent wide. And the Vikings corral it along the far boards. Nice little spin move there. Shot on net. Hits a defender. Pass to Menard at the blue line. Menard to his teammate. Shot. Krzyzelski. Can't keep it. Bouncing puck in front of the net and somehow stays out. 40 seconds remaining on this power play for the Elliot Lake Vikings. Tied up behind the net is the puck, but the Vikings come away with it. Pass to the blue line. Leslie with it along the far boards. Back to the blue line now. To Abelflan. Shot on net. Goes off the crossbar and into the corner. Abelflan once more. Shot on net. And that will be a hat trick for Noah Abelflan. Makes no mistake about it.
That was two beautiful shots by him in a row. And I'm not sure about that first one. That the ref said no goal, but that looked like bar and in. I'm guessing the ref saying it hit post, crossbar, and out. But that second one, no mistake, and hit right in the top corner.
What a goal. What a hat trick. Same spot, it just went off the crossbar. Gets the puck back. Makes sure that this one goes in, and the score is now 4-2 with 7:32 remaining in the third period. Puck dumped down into the Viking zone. Battle in the corner here. And the Gold Miners take control in the neutral zone. Schuker sends it all the way down. And Abresh fights for it in the net. Centering pass for the Gold Miners. Ellis can't get a control of it. We'll take it out to neutral ice. And it will be dumped back in. Battle on the boards for the Vikings. And DuPont gets it. DuPont with his teammate just staying on side, but is just cleared. Kirkland Lake carrying it up the ice now. Ellis can't control the puck and it goes into the corner. Long, tough battle here in the corner. Vying for control. 6:25 remaining in the period. Kirkland Lake hoping to get something going, but DuPont has other ideas as they take it into the KL zone. Dupuis now tries to take it into the Viking zone. DuPont to his teammate. Bastien Picard now with it. Bastien Picard flicks it up the boards, and the Vikings recover at center. Flicks one on net towards the goalie, and it deflects into the corner now. Bastien Picard battling. Bastien Picard comes away with it now. Little flick up ice, and the Vikings keep it from going into their own zone. Gray now in the corner, but the Vikings get it. Centering pass. Light backhand hits a bunch of skates in front of the net. Clearing attempt goes all the way down the ice and makes contact, so icing is waved off. 5 minutes and 15 seconds remaining here for the Gold Miners to try and come back in this one. Allen corrals it at center, and McKindu with it now. Scramble in neutral. And the Vikings come out on top, pushing into the zone. Nifty little move there, but the puck ends up going behind the net. Along the boards now, Kirkland Lake trying to get something done and just cannot get it past central ice here. McClellan into the zone with Leslie. Still behind the net now is McClellan. Goes down to the blue line. Nystrom sends it over. Shot hits a defender. And it's along the boards now. McClellan with it. Makes a move. Sends it to the slot. Goaltender covers it up. And there was 4 minutes, 20 seconds here remaining in the third period. 41 shots for the Vikings. 26 shots for the Gold Miners. Score 4-2, and we will finally get our mid-period break. Let's hear what you have to say, Ben.
And so here we are at the convenient time of 4:20 to be talking about mental health and addictions. The NOJHL and Canadian Mental Health Association work together on the Talk Today program to foster mental health awareness and reduce the stigma in NOJHL communities. To learn more about local mental health and addiction supports, visit the CMHA Sudbury Manitoulin at 111 Elm Street, Sudbury, or go to sm.cmha.ca.
Thank you for that, Ben. And we will bring up the assists here on that goal, that hat-trick goal by Noah Abaflan, assisted by Dylan Leslie and Blake Menard. As we will come back to play here, as we said, 4:20 remaining in the third here. Draw will be in the Kirkland Lake zone, and they are going to be hoping to get anything going here in the final few minutes. Hoping to take at least one win away here from the tournament. Draw won by the Vikings, though. Quick shot on net. And sent in the corner. Ellis, McKindu fighting for it. McKindu nothing. Puck out to the boards. Kirkland Lake quickly into the zone. Myrie takes it deep but can't do anything. Bertrand now with the puck. Stripped by Brousseau at center ice. Myrie now. Quick shot. Goes way wide and out to the blue line. Ellis manages to keep it in. Scramble here. 3:44. And is taken control of by the Vikings, and the play is called dead.
And that was a good little quick play there by McKindu to get a shot off there, but wasn't quite good enough to beat the goalie. It was right into him, and he just kind of smothered it up. And now we have a face-off inside the Vikings' end.
Armitage will take the draw for the Gold Miners. And wins it. Puck back to Ellis. Ellis with a quick shot. But the Vikings netminder makes no mistake of that one. Cameron Boville stopping 26 shots so far tonight.
Yeah, and there wasn't a whole lot of traffic in front of him on that one, so it was a nice easy wrist shot from above the circle that he was able to just get his glove on.
Quick shot hits defenders and flies up in the air around the boards. Ellis away with it in the slot. Shot into the corner. Dupuis now sends it back into the corner. Abresh fights for it. Armitage now gets away with it. Sends it to Ellis. Ellis to Armitage in the corner. Armitage cycles it back. Tries to get it to Abresh, but the Vikings hold on to it. Many hits being laid behind the Vikings net. Fights along the corner. 3 minutes remaining. Kirkland Lake trying to do something. Flick it into the corner. Ellis makes contact within. The puck flies up into the netting. 2:51 remaining here. And we'll have to keep an eye on the Kirkland Lake goaltender, Davis, in the dying minutes here to see if he gets pulled for the extra attacker.
Yeah, with a 2-goal difference here and over 2 minutes left still, I would not be surprised to see him get pulled out of the net. I just saw some gesturing from the bench at him that I think if they win the faceoff, he's going.
And they did win.
He's looking ready
Quick
to
to
take
the
off.
center. Puck loose in the slot. Jumping around. Ellis, backhand, just goes wide. And the netminder heads to the net. Extra attacker comes on. Ellis in the corner now. Chipped behind the Vikings net. Loose in the slot. Hits a player in front. Gets lost. Vikings up the ice now. Leslie to McLaughlin. McLaughlin hits a player in front. In the skates of Ellis in front. And the Vikings bury the dagger. 5-2 now the score. 2:14 remaining on the 43rd shot for the Vikings. And this one is all but over.
That was just an unfortunate play for the defender standing in front, blocking the pass out front. It hit him in the skates and just kind of stayed there, and he didn't know where the puck was. So it was an easy tap in for a Vikings player in the area to just kind of grab the puck and knock it in without too much pressure.
As we said, 2:14 remaining here. Draw at center. And the Vikings win it. Puck sent back into the Kirkland Lake zone. Brousseau with it now. Still behind his own net. Sends it up the boards, but they can't clear it. Vikings holding it in quite effectively. And they continue to do so. Kirkland Lake finally getting away with it. Dupuis up the right side now. Shot on net. Bounces high. Behind the net now. Vikings recover. Minute 35. Big hit in the Viking zone. Dubois with it in the Kirkland Lake zone. Battle along the boards. Puck just gets clear, but sent back in quickly by Vikings. DuPont now with it at neutral ice. Sends it back into his own zone. Vikings recover. Go for a push now. Just over a minute remaining. Myuri chases after it. Trying for something here. But defenders swarm around him. Vikings with it now. DuPont skates in. Shot on net. Hits off the pad and goes into the corner. Vikings. 44 seconds remaining. Thompson flicks one on net. And the Kirkland Lake goaltender, Davis, will cover that one up for his 40th save of the night.
Yeah, he's had a tough night in there with 44 shots on him, one on an empty net that went in. But his numbers particularly don't look that bad.
Norris gathers the puck now, 30 seconds remaining. Chopped up in the air, Vikings keep it in the zone. DuPont fighting for it. Schuker sends it up to Norris. Norris into the zone for Myuri. Myuri sends it over to Schuker. Schuker sends it high over the boards, 15 seconds. Battle behind the net. Allen calling for it. But McKindu swarmed in the corner. 5 seconds remaining. Allen shot. Hits off a stick and goes high. And that will be this one. The Elliot Lake Vikings take this game 5-2 over Kirkland Lake Gold Miners. Shots 46-31. Some extracurriculars after the game. But all skaters will skate away now. And we will stick around for our player of the game, as is tradition, at the tournament here. Thoughts, Ben?
Yeah, so right at the end there, someone took a shot at Norris just before the buzzer, and he was unhappy about it. And then he turned around and fired the puck at the guy who took the shot at him, and he was unhappy about it. And, so Kirkland Lake had been leaving the ice, but then it looks like they remembered that this isn't just a regular game. We have player of the game ceremony that they all have to be out on the ice for, so they've all returned back to the ice.
Players lining up, and we are getting to announce the players of the game here. It's a nice gesture recognizing the efforts of both teams after a hard-fought battle here in Sudbury. Tyler Sweat will get the nod for Kirkland Lake. And no surprise here, Noah Abaflin picking up the hat trick, gets the nod as absolutely the player of the game for the Elliot Lake Vikings. And that will do it here for our first game of the day. Final thoughts, Ben, before we head off, and we'll come back for our next game.
Yeah, that was an excellent game, and I liked what I saw, especially the Vikings looked very structured, that even when the gold miners seemed to take advantage for a while, the Vikings kept with what their plan and eventually came out ahead.
And as I've said all game, I could not agree more with your assessment. A tough battle that turned around in the second for the Vikings, and Elliot Lake maintained dominant, and Kirkland Lake swimming with the fishes at the end of this one. They could not mount a comeback after their initial 2 goals. So that will do it here from Game 1. We will be back with Game 2 action here. I'm Harrison Clements. He's Ben Long. And on the camera is Birthday Boy Mike. And we will see you soon.